Hey yoga babes, I thought I'd bring you to my favorite beach because after all, we're in this together. I'm actually going to do a yoga class here one day, but there's 500 stairs, so I got to plan it so I don't fry like an egg when I do it. But I just wanted to start off talking a little bit about the best way for our body to respond to our exercise and to what we eat. So a little bit of my nutrition and some amazing tools that I know have helped heaps of people and that really particularly have helped me. So I wanted to explain a little bit about fight or flight and what happens to our body when we go into it and how this has a huge effect on our inability to lose weight. Basically, our brains, because they're really, really old, are meant to scan and search and look for and make up really dangerous situations, right? Our brain's purpose is meant to keep us alive. So unfortunately, we still have that same prehistoric brain. Like, okay, it was good in the past when we were cavemen and there were saber-toothed tigers and we were really in life or death situations all the time and our life expectancy was really small. But now we can go into fight or flight mode when we are comfortable in our bed. And that's crazy. The reason it's crazy is because our body doesn't know the difference between it really happening and us just thinking it in our mind. So the reason I use the excuse in bed is because I know that really happened to me all the time when I was living in anxiety. I'd be in my bed, like in a really safe place, in a comfortable bed, warm, cozy. I loved my bedspread. And I just start remembering something that really was traumatizing, and immediately my heart would start pounding, right? So our body has these physiological reactions. My body didn't know that I was safe in my bed. My body thought that I was in this really traumatic event that had already happened. So the heart starts pounding, stomach started hurting, I'm having trouble breathing, the adrenaline, right? The adrenaline. So now I've got the cortisol running through my body, and it's like I am needing to run away, like I'm in a life or death situation. So when our body is constantly in that, when we aren't able to manage our emotions, when we're affected by everyone and everything that happens around us, the tiniest thing can set us off and we go into fight or flight. So we're meant to only have that in a life or death situation. Like, that is a gift for us to stay alive. We have it all day, every day, in traffic, when somebody says something that hurts our feelings, if somebody writes something negative on one of our posts, if we feel like somebody doesn't like us, even if somebody doesn't say anything, the mind's making up these scenarios because we feel insecure and we're triggered. It's a really, really dangerous and unhealthy place for us to live in. And when we're in that all the time, the last thing the body can do is lose weight, right? It's like, I'm in survival mode. And a lot of times that survival mode was starving to death. So when we're putting our body in this fight or flight mode, it's like, all right, either I'm going to have to run at top speed to save my life, or I'm in a famine and I have to hold on to everything because I'm going to starve. It has these basic needs that the body responds to as life or death. But what our mind thinks is life or death is when our ego gets shot. So I think that I would just love explaining what happens, because once we can finally be aware of it, right? Like, I remember the first time I was able to actually work through that, I was in my bed, and I had kind of a bit of a traumatic event for me. Maybe it would be traumatic for you, but trauma is always based on our perception. So I started just getting this wave of adrenaline, and I think it was like 5 in the morning, and I was in my bed, and I just actually started to observe it, and I was like, wow, my heart is pounding, out of my chest. I can feel the adrenaline, my muscles are tightening, and damn, my stomach is sick. And once I started just observing it, my body was like, oh, hey, this isn't but we're in the bedroom. I was present. I was like, I'm in my bed. I was looking around, noticing all the things, just completely observing, and my body started to realize that it was reacting to a thought in the mind, and it wasn't really there, right? I was able to pull myself into the present moment and into my body. So I think the best way for us to detox and find our strongest body is just by being present, staying out of that fight or flight mode. It's such a miserable place to live in. I know how it feels to wake up in the middle of the night and just be unable to control it, or every time that we feel like somebody was mean to us or we're not good enough, going into that just life or death situation in the mind, the body starts reacting, and we just always have this anxiety. So we're not going to lose weight if we're living in that fight or flight mode. As well as sometimes that creates an underweight, right? We're unable to eat. I have too much anxiety. I can't eat, and we're just not able to be present for more than a few seconds. I've been there. I've spoken to people that are there. I can see these like nervous, when I was doing all these healing retreats earlier in the year, it was a transformational place. There was a lot of women that were really suffering and hurt. I could just see it was like there was always a movement. They couldn't look at your eyes. They couldn't pay attention for more than a second. I just saw so much negative energy moving through, and it's an inability to sit still. It's an inability to find peace. So here's what we do. Next time we go into that fight or flight mode, next time we're reliving something that's not happening right now, that's not real, we start to come into the body. And normally as humans, we want to run away from that because it's really uncomfortable. Like, I don't want to feel it. I just want it to go away, get away from me, move out. But the only way for us to move through it is to feel it. So start to focus and really observe where it sits physically in your body, where that adrenaline is going. Cool. So then the next part of that is mindful eating. And basically, when we're not present and we are grubbing and we are eating, we are unaware of what's going on. Like, I talk to a lot of women that are like, I just don't get it. I'm working out. My body's not responding. My nutrition is okay. But then we kind of get deeper and they start like, oh, but maybe I did eat, but I probably had like one or two, but I don't know how much I ate. And it's like, how many things during the day are you putting in your body that you don't want? It's either a nervous habit, or we're like, oh, I'm so stressed out. I'm just gonna, just do this motion because it feels good. So when we're not present, we can't listen to our body, right? Our belly grumbles. Our belly tells us when we're hungry. I know when I'm hungry. I'm like, all right, it's time to eat. Like, I just worked out. I taught for hours. I did my own practice. Like, did my streaming today. And my body, my belly tells me when I'm hungry. Versus in the past, I didn't have that connection. I wasn't listening to the signals coming from my body. So today, sometimes I skip lunch. Like, I'm like, oh, I'm not hungry. I'm going to grub for dinner, right? I'm going to eat what my body's craving for dinner. Vice versa. Like, sometimes I'm starving right when I wake up and I need to have a giant breakfast. So we don't need to be stuck. That's like a kid. Like, you need to eat. You need to eat now. You need to eat this. You need to eat that. Why? Eat when you're hungry. Eat what you want. Eat what your body's craving. So our body's going to give us all these signals. Like, when we're eating food that, I've done this a lot. I've eaten something and then I've been so sick after, and like, it repeats on me, and I'm like, I need apple cider vinegar. It's just like, oh, I'm so sick, I have heartburn, my stomach hurts. I wasn't present in the moment, and there's a sign from your body going, all right, that's it. Either that's enough, like, it's rich, you're good, or this food isn't sitting well with us. Like, this doesn't work well in our body. I'll tell you that I have eaten a whole gallon of chocolate ice cream, or rather coffee ice cream, and I hate coffee ice cream. I love chocolate ice cream, but I do not like coffee ice cream, and I've literally been so disconnected and so unpresent that I didn't even realize it was coffee ice cream. I had two in the fridge. I grabbed the wrong one and ate the whole gallon because I was just completely disconnected, and it was a form of habit, and I was in my mind freaking out and worrying. So I also recommend that we chew really slow. My favorite Buddhist teacher, Thich Nhat Hanh, I've mentioned him already. You're going to hear me mention him a lot. I love him. He reckons that Buddhists chew their food each bite 100 times. And I know that's like a bit excessive, but we really need to appreciate and nurture. One of the other parts of my mindful eating is in order to really appreciate things, if I'm not appreciating things, I like to take them away from me so I can appreciate. Because just as humans, we appreciate what we don't have. That's just the way that we work. So I'll fast for like 6 hours. If I notice that I'm having this really unhealthy relationship with food, I'll take it away so I can feel my hunger pains, so I can eat when I'm hungry, and I can start to really appreciate it again, right? So we want that mindful eating. We want to be present. Food is a fuel for our body. Food is not an emotional escape. Food is not something to do when we're bored or angry. Food is not something that we need to sneak. We don't need to hoard, or we don't need to be embarrassed of it, right? Food is this beautiful, amazing thing. Our body will always tell us what we need, but we have to be present in order to hear that. So we mindfully eat, we listen to our body, we stop when we're full, we eat when we're hungry, and we take it away if we're not appreciating it, just like we do with kids. What do you do when they don't appreciate their shit? We take it away and say, you're not appreciating it, you're not treating it with respect. We can find so much gratitude, and we can cherish every little bite of this amazing thing that nurtures our body, and that's what we've got to do. So take these tools on, comment in the Facebook group if you have any questions. I can't wait to hear about your mindful eating, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!